How are you guys doing? So today's video, I wanted to kind of refresh your guys' brains for what it really takes to complete this GS event. So coming over here to the journey guide, guys. This guy will be coming out here from the, what was it, 25th? No, the 27th, I think, through the 29th. So this weekend here, I'm pretty sure, guys. So what is the best way to go about this? What is the bare minimums? Well, the bare minimums I would say are this. So you can see here that I have some Padme, GK, like everybody here that I think are the most important are relicked up. For the phase two guys, if you really want to see what is what, we're gonna come over here to my squads and just see what we're kind of looking at here. So phase 2 is this team right here. This is the phase 2 team, and this is a little bit easier than phase 4. I mean, maybe not a little bit, maybe it's a lot of it. It really is. Phase 4 is really the worst. So for this phase, you don't need a gear 11, gear 10, gear 13, gear 12, whatever the gear may be. You don't need a high gear Shock T here, guys. You just don't. And I could probably say the same thing about C-3PO and also even Padme. The bare minimum, I would say, from what I've seen and what I've kind of tested myself, is this. I actually did this with a Gear 9 Shock T with 1 Zeta to make sure that she hits that 17,000 whatever 500 power level, just so that she can be used in the event. And then I had my Gear 12 C-3PO. He was pretty much the same throughout the entire event. But the ones that I found to be the most important are these two here. General Kenobi and Ahsoka Tano are the most important for this event. If you guys were to go anything heavy on the relics, I would probably put maxed out relics on your GK. Mine for the event was only relic 4. He's been that way ever since. You really want to make sure that you maximize his HP and protection here. Just make sure that he's a fast tank that absorbs most, if not all, the damage in the phase 2. And for Ahsoka, you want her to be hitting hard. You don't need crazy speeds on her at all. You just want her to max out pretty much her offense for crit chance / crit damage. And with Padme, it's kind of the same thing. You don't want her to be crazy, fast either. You can just kind of worry about her being a little bit slower and mod her for a lot of extra HP protection. And the reason why I don't think that she needs to be Gear 12, or Gear 13 rather, for this, and she can be Gear 12, is that she doesn't get that crazy of a boost from Gear 12 to Gear 13. So I think this is really the easiest phase for Phase 2, and I don't really think you're going to need crazy gear here. I don't think you do. From my recollection, you just don't. And I will try to... I'm pretty sure I deleted my stream in Phase 2 because I got some, copyrighted stuff or whatnot. But I will link you guys one. I know a friend of mine in my arena shard. His name's Fatal. He did a really good guide on Phase 2. And I will link that here into the description below because I think it's a solid guide for Phase 2. It's straight to the point. He goes in depth about what you got to do here and there and whatnot, So, personally, the requirements here, you can get away with Gear 12 Padme, Gear 10, 11 3PO, and a Gear 9 Shock T. But if you were to go on Gear 13 on anybody here, GK and Ahsoka Tano, you need those guys. Those guys are the most crucial people here in that event for Phase 2. Okay, so going over ships on this phase, you had to use Mace because nobody had a 7-star negotiator. But maybe if you guys did hoard a lot of your stuff for a 7-star negotiator, this is going to be stupid easy for you. If you guys do not have a 7-star negotiator and you're stuck with a Mace, this I think are my minimum requirements for the other ships. You just got to make sure that Mace hits the 40k mark for making sure that he can be used in the event. And then the other guys here, you have a lot to choose from. So we have the Y-Wing, we have the Sergeant, you got Jedi Consular, you got Plo, Rex, Ahsoka, Fives, and also Anakin. You need Anakin first and foremost, he's required. But the other guys, you just need, I think 3 or 4, pretty sure it's 3 other clones or Galactic Republic for this event. They have to be, I think, at a specific requirement level, power level. I think it's 40k. And the ones outside of Anakin that I would probably shoot for here is Umbaran, Ahsoka, and Plo Koon. Rex can be decent here, and Ahsoka and Sarge. I think both those guys are really solid. But Plo Koon with his TM and his extra recovery, protection, HP is just so good, guys. I think with this and the Anakin here, he needs to be relicked here for sure because there's not going to be enough damage here at all for that phase, for Phase 1. So besides that, I think you can probably get away with Gear 12 on pretty much everybody else, but you pretty much need a Gear 13 for Anakin. It just kind of is a must-have here, I think, in my opinion. And you can get away with a 40k or above Mace Windu. It's not as important, but Phase 1 is probably the easiest phase here, and also Phase 3. Phase 3, you don't need to worry about anything because everything's given to you. And with that being said, let's move on to Phase 4, the toughest phase. So, this is the toughest phase by far. And I want to spend the majority of this video going over this phase because there's a lot of moving parts here. And the strategy, I will leave a link to my my video I did on this phase for Phase 4 in the GS event. It is the most ridiculous event I've ever played in my life. And unless you guys have these guys with the required, for what I think are the minimum you need these guys. If you don't have them at that minimum, it's going to be just a crazy, you know, RNG fest. Even with what I have, it's going to be a lot of RNG still. But this takes away most of the RNG, I would say. So, there's going to be, on the opposing team, there's going to be a GS with the clones and all those guys doing a lot of AoE hits and a lot of direct hits from GS and all those assists or whatever, you know. So, you need these guys to be a high level of gear. Just plain simple, okay? The ones you probably should focus the highest, though, on the priority list is a couple of them. B1 is the most important Gear 13 in this event for Phase 4. And the second one I would probably say is SWGoH. Those two are probably one of your biggest DPS dealers. And then you have Droideka here. Droideka here is he's an assist machine. If you guys want to go the RNG route and you want to do what I did with only one Gear 13, well, Droideka is going to be your best friend. You need the Zeta for sure with the extra assists, but really Droideka is you know, he's just your friend here because he's going to give out so much extra assists and the RNG factor here with a % chance to assist. SWGoH is really important because she's an attacker and she can dispel and all that junk and kind of just survive until he gets out of his cover and goes back into advance for the first time. So she needs to be there to kind of absorb a little bit of damage to buy time for the other droids to do the rest of the damage and the work for getting GS down. So, with that being said, with these guys here and what the minimum is, in my opinion, well, it's this. What you see on screen here with these 5, I would say is probably the bare minimum. However, I have seen some people with Gear 11, you know, B2 and Gear 11, Droideka. It probably can be done. You just need a lot of good RNG. Like I said, you need a lot of good RNG here, guys. If you want to play it kind of safe, not as much RNG, you got to slap on a Zeta, or not a Zeta, you got to slap on Gear 13 on not only B1, but either Droideka or SWGoH. From what I've seen previously from other people attempting this, SWGoH was for sure the best other one besides B1. But yeah, B1, you need him up Gear 13. He is your damage dealer. He has so much extra. With his droid battalion, he's gonna have 100 stacks, and he's gonna heal up everybody, and he's gonna assist a lot too. So yeah, I think for sure B1's the most important here. And while I'm chatting about this, while I'm talking about this, there's gonna be a lot of footage just being thrown up throughout the entire video for you guys to see what's going on here. But yeah, the bare minimums here, guys, to save you some trouble and a lot of stress-free RNG. You need more than one in Gear 13. Just plain and simple, guys. So before we wrap up, guys, here today, I do want to just shout out that I do happen to help out other people with their unlocks in events. I don't do it all the time because I can get overran with these other people and just a bunch of people asking me to do it for them. But typically, there's the prices here you can see with the 7-star and 5 to 6-star unlocks. These are typically for legendary events. But I have had a bunch of other people that have helped in the past with different various events, like all the way from a 3PO event to Chewie to Malik and to Padme. Just a bunch of different events I've helped out people with. So I do want to shout this out in the very end of the video, and I will help out people with a GS event as long as you guys hit these minimum requirements. And like I said, I can help you out here. The prices do vary depending on the amount of time I've spent. But typically the prices shouldn't be more than $50. You know, it shouldn't be much more than that at all. If anything, it's the cheapest price should be, you know, anywhere from $10 to $30, really. So that's kind of it. I just want to shout this out at the very end of the video. And with this being said, I'm gonna wrap up the video here, guys. I really do enjoy some of these events. I don't know why. I just like playing them. I'm a freaking weirdo, guys. I admit it. But pretty much for the GS event, we went over today in the video for today, the requirements and the minimums I would say you need to actually get them and get this event done without too much hassle. With what I have here, I would say is quite, you know, the minimum besides some of these other ones that I've geared up since. So that's kind of it, you know. Just a video I want to go over, chatting about this, kind of saving you some frustrations. And like I said, if you guys need any help, hit me up on Discord. It's just Ian, pound 3000, I think. That's my little tag there. But there you guys go. Thank you for watching my video for today. And also, guys, make sure that you have a good Christmas with your family and friends. That should be your main priority here. Have a good Christmas, okay? But that's it for me today. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all later.